Good evening, or afternoon, or morning, depending on when you're watching this. This is Jeffrey Blake. I'm recording a two-table video of 2-4 at Full Tilt Poker. As you can see, basically even, just getting started. I'm actually probably down about 20 bucks. I made a raise that I had to fold, and then paid the blinds a few times, so I reloaded right before you guys got here, so you didn't get to see any of that, sorry. Today I'm going to be doing the final video in my series of Sauce 1123 videos, so hopefully this will be a good one. And to start off, I probably made a slight mistake. It's probably better to raise here, especially as aggressive as this player is. I don't really want to play the ace-deuce suited out of position, so I'm just going to let it go when he raises. Actually, both of these players have been fairly aggressive, blind versus blind, so I'll need to keep that in mind in the future. I said this is the final video. I am planning on doing a two-part video here, so hopefully this actually won't be the final one. You'll get two. And like I said as well, the strategy I'm basically going to be employing is based on the post from Sauce123, which you can find in the in the shorthanded forum of FlopTurnRiver.com. Essentially, it's about avoiding playing marginal hands out of position for the most part. You don't even play some of your bigger aces. And I may make some adjustments by the end of this video if players are getting a pretty decent or pretty strong read that I'm being tight in early position and they're actually responding to that, and I'm not getting enough hands to raise in late position. I may start adjusting a little bit to take advantage of some of the fold equity that they're giving me. But alternatively, I may just get people to try to run over me and have the best hand most of the time. That's always fun. I don't believe I'll be playing either of these hands. I'm assuming for right now that the little bear is a pretty decent player, though I've got, almost 5,000 hands on him. I don't actually know the guy. That's all from hands that I've just collected. So we'll have to feel him out, but I suspect that he generally has something when he's raising an early position. I definitely want to pay attention to what we see. There should only be maybe one more of those waiting list pop-ups coming. I apologize about those. I was trying to make sure I got full tables before I started this. The river bet there actually seems like a pretty strong hand, because with the 4 to the flush shown and this guy kind of making it seem like he has a draw a lot of the time. This 4-bet was actually a mistake. I didn't realize how short the guy was, because I'm going to be probably committed to call if he shoves. And since I'm trying to develop a tighter image for now, that's not exactly a spot I want to be in. Obviously, I'll just check with the Jack-9 out of position. I didn't hit the flop, and I'm not going to get creative just yet. Now, if he checks behind, I may fire at a number of turns. He did. That's not a good card for me against his range, though, so I'm not going to fire. I'll check, and I'll be letting this go. I see you can't play Jack 8 to a shove. That's interesting. I had a better hand than he limped with. What did he have? He limped with an 8-6 suited. And if you've watched my other videos, you've heard me harp on it, but playing suited connectors out of position is not a good play. At least not until you're to a high enough level that you're playing very strong hands. You're playing your hands very strongly. You want to have very, very good post-flop skills to negate your positional disadvantage in spots like that. Raise with the ace-deuce suited. I think this is only the second time I've raised on this table. And we flop a great flop. I'm going to go ahead and bet over here. And here I'm going to make a standard continuation bet, about $22. And he folds. You know, you could slow play those flops, but I'd like to show down a few good hands if people start playing back at me, so that I can, well, have hands that are good. That didn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm trying to develop a pretty solid, tight image, and to do that, I have to bet, all my hands. If I want to get folds from weaker hands, then when I have a hand, I need to bet it. You could also make the case that you need to kind of build the pot there, but because he's so short, that maybe isn't quite as true. We'll bet the ace-deuce suited on the button. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of playback from one of these two. This is the second time that the little bear has 3-bet us pre-flop. We're not going to call with ace-deuce suited, but we are going to start thinking about that. And we may 4-bet a little bit lighter, and we may remove some of the worst hands from our range on the button there, just because we want to be able to play back at him when he does that, and he seems like he's going to be doing it consistently. With the odds I'm getting, I'm going to go ahead and call here, looking for just 2 pair or better, just because it's going to happen often enough. I'll be able to build the pot post-flop enough to account for that small call. I didn't hit. I'm just going to fold. I probably wouldn't have called if that hadn't been suited. As strange as that sounds, I hit a lot more flops with the suited king deuce than I do with just 2 random cards, obviously. Little bear is very aggressive against us, which is fine. It doesn't mean that we need to start doing stupid things like playing back with the 6-5 offsuit. But we do want to increase the value that we give to our actual hands. There, I just limped because I thought it was too likely that I was going to be in a bad spot if I raised, given the frequency that they're 3-betting. It also will lend a little bit more legitimacy to times that I don't limp. Here with Ace King suited in the big blind, I'm just so far ahead of his range. I have to 3-bet here, and I will, given his stack size, be calling if he shoves.